النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. From previous ayahs, Allah Azza wa Jal did state that if you obey Allah Azza wa Jal and His Messenger, you will be with the prophets and martyrs and siddiqeen, righteous people in paradise. And we are talking about the importance of obeying Allah Azza wa Jal. And He making the statement that whoever obey the messenger, he obeyed Allah. Allah didn't talk to you, He talked to you through the messenger. So whatever the messenger says from Allah Azza wa Jal, and amazing, those who try to ignore the Sunnah, it seems like they never read the Quran. They never understood the Quran if they read the Quran. Because this ayah, there's no way you're going to obey Allah Azza wa Jal unless through Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There's another ayah which I came across talking about Muhammad as being wasila. It's in Surah Al-Munafiqun. Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَإِذْ قِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالُوا يَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ لَوُّوا رُؤُوسَهُمْ وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْكَ صَدُودًا. When they are asked, come to the Prophet ﷺ to ask Allah to forgive you, they turn their faces and go away. So here he didn't even mention Allah. You know the ayah we came across that ولو ظلموا أنفسهم ولولا إذ ظلموا أنفسهم جاءوك فاستغفروا الله واستغفر لهم الرسول. So they ask Allah to forgive them, and the Prophet asked Allah to forgive them. They will find Allah Azza wa Jalla is forgiver. I would say this is the wasila. They used Allah there, but Allah wants us to use the Prophet to ask Allah to forgive us. But Allah mentioned there wastaghfirullah. But in Surah Al-Munafiqun, He didn't even mention astaghfirullah. He said, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالُوا يَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ لَوُّوا رُؤُوسَهُمْ. So they here it's more in Surah Al-Munafiqun stating that you will way to Allah through the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then they say, oh, he's dead. He's not dead because he's a martyr. When he was dying, he said to Aisha, this is the time when my abhar is going to be caught. My illness is going to kill me, which the poison the Jewish lady gave him a year ago, and he had a bite from the shoulder of the lamb, and he spit it out because the shoulder told him that I'm poisoned. But the poison, whatever absorbed, was enough to keep killing him slowly. So he died as a martyr. And in the Quran, وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٌ بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ. They are alive, but with their Lord. If you go to a martyr grave, you might find bones only. They're not alive in their grave. They're alive عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, with their Lord. So there's no way that you can run away from Sunnah. And this is why first you need to make sure the Sunnah is authentic, correct, and you need to adhere to it, and you need to hand it to the scholars who will tell you which Sunnah abrogated another Sunnah and when. Because Allah told the Prophet ﷺ allowed them to eat the wild donkeys, and then He banned it. And He allowed them to have zawaj al-mit'a, this enjoyment marriage, and He banned it. So the Shia stuck to the first order. Oh, this is Sunnah. But this is what cancelled by another hadith of the Prophet which came later and stronger. But there's no way you can. This is why the Sahaba and Tabi'in, they were very keen to learn the hadith. And many of them were afraid to narrate the hadith because if they make mistake, they could invent lie on the Prophet ﷺ, and that will take them to hellfire. This is why it's only a limited number who narrated the hadith. I'm very brave. We are very grateful for them and ask Allah to reward them, inshallah. So whoever turn away from man tawalla, from the Prophet ﷺ, the Allah Azza wa Jal here trying to comfort the Prophet, said, don't worry, don't take it personally. You are only sent. You are not sent to be a guardian over them. You're not responsible for what they do. So, because sometimes, I come here, there's only one bed there, I feel personal, nothing to do with me. You will do what Allah asks you to do, and Allah will reward you, whether you achieve or not achieve. And then while with you, they will say, okay, we obey, we listen and obey. Um, yeah, and you need a consultant with the pain clinic. I used to have the same. Um, so while with him, they say, oh, we obey, we obey. فإذا برزوا من عندك, when they go out, they go on and plan overnight to do differently, to disobey you. And they forgot that Allah Azza wa is writing whatever they say, because they have the angels you have, and they will write and left. إن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين. It's angels writing down, because when you write down, you can produce your writing. If there's no written, I actually write down between me and my wife sometime, and between me and my children. Alone, yeah, it's a tenner, but it's important, yeah. £10 is not. We employed my granddaughter to, I think, to clean the car or to do something in the house. And we said, okay, we'll give you a tenner. No, we said, how much the hour? She said £50 an hour. Said, no, £10 an hour. Bring a paper. We wrote, I think she was 8. And we wrote an agreement between me and my granddaughter that she works for us. It's £10 an hour. So it's important habit. I signed the contracts one last year, I think, between me and Omar. Also, you do this, and cost this, and so writing. Nobody can. It's just your signature. Yeah, we can go analyze it. I mean, we have a forensic team, and here Allah يكتب ما يبيتون. Allah writes, and He tells the Prophet because they are kafirin, they don't believe, so it doesn't come to their mind that Allah will tell him. Like when we read the story the other day between Aisha and Hafsa, when they spoke about telling the Prophet that he was eating he smells the maghafir, the flower of maghafir. And when he faced them with what they said, she said to him, "Man anba'aka hadha?" Qala nabba'ani al-alim al-khabir. Allah told me. So you can't do anything in the dark. And the beauty also that the Sahaba who lived with the Prophet, whether they were Muslims or before they were Muslims, when they became Muslims, they confessed, we did actually plan this. It was us who planned this. So Allah was telling the Prophet ﷺ what was actually happening. Because when he took the handful of sand and he threw it to the army of Hunayn, and Allah said, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتُ لَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. It wasn't you who threw the sand, it's Allah who threw the sand. And they said all of them that sand actually did get into their eyes. They couldn't see anymore. They tried to rub their eyes, and that's one of the cause of their failure, and they lost the war. But they became Muslims later, and they said, "See, we did. So we did have the sand." فأعرض عنهم, and that's the from day one, the Prophet ﷺ wasn't confronting the kafirin. What they wasn't saying, "Oh no, you lied." They just walk away. He was not arguing with them. فأعرض عنهم, and rely on Allah Azza wa Jalla, and He is enough to rely on, and He will be supporting you, and you will be a winner. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, surprising, they should have read the Quran and understood it, because that's mentioned in the Quran. It's like when He said in Surah Al-Baqarah about the Jew, they shouldn't tell the Prophet ﷺ what's in the Torah. Allah will tell him. Allah will inform the Prophet about all the events and all the ins and outs. أفلا يعلمون أن الله يعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون. Don't they? It's in their Torah as well. Allah knows what they hide and what they declare. So here, أفلا يتدبرون القرآن. When Imam Shara'i was talking about it, he said, تدبر, there's tafakkur when you think yourself about things, and there is um, عقل, you understand it, يعقلون, and there is يعلمون, when somebody knew and discovered, you heard him, or you read the book, or you met him, or you read online or something, you went to the university, يعلمون, you learned from those who did the thinking and discovering, and then يتذكرون, you remember what you learned, and يتدبرون, if you do the opposite. Now you go to the doctor and say you have, God forbid, diabetes, whatever, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you think, if I don't do it, what will happen? If you don't do this, you might have high blood pressure, you might have obesity, you might have coronary heart disease, you might have this, you might have that. Then can you cope with having this? Will you survive? يتدبر. So you see the end results. I like to take my wife when I want to buy something, because she will say, yeah, you could buy it now, but a year later it will be moldy, it will rust, this will happen, that will happen. Then, oh, you buy this shirt. She said to me when I brought a shirt, she said, why you bought this? Can't iron it. You wash it and you can't iron it. And we did wash it, and we went, it wasn't. So I took it back to CNA, and they said, look, it will not iron, no matter how much you try and you put water, you put. So they, oh, sorry, they gave me my money back. But if I took my wife when I bought the shares from the beginning, she should have said, no, leave it, because you يتدبر, you see what's the end result, what's by the end of the day what happened. When we came to this, when we bought the unit here downstairs, after 1 year or 2 years, we started seeing the dam on the wall. And where is that coming from? One day we discovered, we brought drain doctor, and he put the camera, and he found that there's no train, there's no tube taking the water to outside. So what because they have small thing, people come and wash their hands and go. By the time another one come, would have dried and gone and noticed. So it didn't show anything for donkeys of years. Only we came with the wudu. So when you use the big toilet, you will find that there's a pipe going from the basin to the toilet pipe. Because if you want to take through the floor, you have to dig the floor, and so they say this is an easy way and quick fix and things. And so the guy who fitted that, they will not notice. But when you buy a house, you never think of checking the pipes, checking the drains, and you could do, but who's going to bring and put cameras and things? So tadabbur Quran, they will see always the end result of applying the Quran or not applying the Quran. When your children are born, what will happen? And if you do this, what will happen if you do that? We were watching a recording for my children when they were young. So my wife went with my daughter shopping and left me, and her father was with us, and Marwan was 8 years old or 7 years old. Ubada was 2, and Talha was Ubada was 1.5, and Talha was half, of 4 months. And I was videoing, and my father-in-law was cooking in the kitchen, and Marwan became in charge of the babysitting, but he was playing his game, and he deputized Ubada to look after Talha. And Ubada kept taking the dummy from Talha's mouth and put it in his mouth. And Talha started crying. Then he put it back. And then the crying became annoying to Marwan, and he goes, tell him off, put the dummy there, and back to his game. And again, Ubada did it 3 times, and Marwan pushed him away. And then he came back, and he gave Talha a big slap on the face, because he caused him to be told off. But So when when you put a babysitter who's not qualified, not of age, but at the balloon, you need really to think of the end results. If you bring the wrong caretaker, if you go to the wrong school, if you have the wrong friends, if you have the wrong job, um, but if you look into the Quran and look into, if you don't do that, what will happen? Um, and you will find that if it was not from Allah Azza wa Jal, it will be jumble of things. But if it's because it's from Allah Azza wa Jal, and He brought an ayah in the Quran, which is ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق. إملاق is the word probably the best one to search. I'll show it to you inshallah. There's two ayahs. ولا تقتلوا أولادكم خشية إملاق. And here ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق. Now the two ayahs appear similar. Don't kill your children because of, here what's he say? ولا تقتلوا أولادكم, kill not your children for fear of want, for fear of poverty. We will provide you and them. We shall provide sustenance for them. Yeah, for them as well as you. The second ayah, don't kill not your children on plea of want. We provide sustenance for you and for them. So here, for you first, and there, for them first. We will provide sustenance for them as well as you. So the two ayahs look similar, and here they said them first, and here they said you first. But what the scholars say here, you kill your children because you're okay now, but if this child grows up, I will need to feed him, dress him, get him to schools, take him to university, £9,000 a year, kill him now or her, because they might cause me to become poor. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, no, once you have the child, Allah will give you extra sustenance. So sustenance here will come for them first. And here, min imlaq, you are already poor. You're already poor, min imlaq. And he said, نحن نرزقكم وإياهم. I will get you richer, don't worry, and give them as well. So if you are already poor, Allah will make you richer, and them. If you are fearing poverty, don't worry, I will give them and you. So this is why the Arab have a lot of children, because they say every child I get, I will get extra income from Allah. They say بيجي الولد بيجي ابنه رزقته معه, عندكم هيك بلبنان. The child will come and his sustenance will come with him, but not 10 children, probably the second, third. So the one who is idiot, they will see similarity. Oh, they are the same, but not. Every single letter is there for a reason. Like, give you Surah Al-Zumar. Yeah, the Kafirin will come, and when they arrive to hellfire, it open the door and snap them. While when the Muslimin, the believers, come to Jannah, it's already doors opens and the red carpet there, and they're welcomed. Here, فتحت أبوابها suddenly. There وفتحت, already opened for them. So the Quran, it looks like, might be from Muhammad ﷺ wrote him, or wrote the Quran, or somebody dictated the Quran. No, it's from Allah. There's not a single mistake in it, and everything in place because of, like, وترى الفلك مواخر فيه, وترى الفلك فيه مواخر. You see the now the sea, the ocean, the sea liners, the big ship. When we went to Istanbul, you see, the ship, massive, like 20 floors, massive. you will see the ship mighty in the sea, and you see the ship at the seashore, the مواخر فيه, and you see the sea and you see the ship. They are beautiful big. And the other ayah, you only see the ship that big in the sea. Because when you see a 10-floor building, 10 floor, 20 floor, but if you see 20 floor floating on the water, that's amazing. So the Quran is not come like random from any person. It came from the creator of the universe, and he deliberately put words in different places and for certain reason. And sometimes you need really a top scholar to teach you why is this, like the last ayah we will come across, why you say Assalamu alaikum, tahiyya, إذا حييتم tahiyya, why we say tahiyyatu lillahi, why the word tahiyya, while here greeting, what greeting in English mean? Welcome. While tahiyya is I'm giving you life, hi, giving you life, because Assalamu alaikum, I'm peaceful, I'm not going to touch you, I'm not going to harm you. So the hayya in Islam means I'm giving you peace and life and protection and things. While here, just welcoming. We'll pray Asha, inshallah, and come back.